Now, I know everyone and their mama's mama is talking about the new trophy wife and her situation, mostly to gossip and to tear down, but to not offer any true wisdom or anything like that. And so I just wanted to talk about it, but only to touch on something she said in one of her earlier videos that I think she has since deleted off her page. I mean, a lot of people are being cruel to her, making assumptions, about the situation and probably projecting onto her in the situation based on their own trauma. And I just want to say that it is so typical for women to not be believed. I know the narrative is the opposite. The narrative is that women are always believed, and that is just absolutely not true. And the predators in these situations, they tend to often be believed because what they tend to do is gather around themselves, a lot of supporters, friends, family, things like that. And that's because they're so good at pretense. They're so good at playing the part and looking the part of a decent person. Whether it's because they're religious, they volunteer, maybe they're just really kind or nice, I should say, to people. People think they're a good dad, just things like that. And even their victims, not just their supporters, but their victims believe the mask at one point in time. And so, situations like this tend to give YouTube creators who are largely, uncreative, interestingly enough, something to make a video about. And with that, they can make gross accusations, either because so many other YouTubers have lied in the past, or just because they swear they see things that aren't actually there. But at the end of the day, I don't know her, and just like you, I wasn't there to know what did or did not happen. And what I do know, though, is that the thing about it is that victims of sex crimes do tend to do things that may not make sense to those on the outside. Trauma can really mess with your head. It can really alter your personality. And in fact, some victims of SA continue to do things such as date their perpetrators, or maybe stay married or get married to their perpetrators. And their post victimization behavior can seem odd and not make logical sense, but it doesn't change the fact that they are a victim, no matter if they're acting in a way that you want them to or not. And for this reason, people do tend to think victims are lying because the victims aren't behaving in a way that the ignorant public thinks that they should behave. And many victims don't even report what happened to them, and the reasons for why can vary, or they report late. And so the ignoramuses, of course, will use that. Well, why did it take you so long? That's one of their things. Why did it take you so long to report? Blah, blah, blah. And like I said, those reasons may vary. And for the ones that do report, the stats, according to RAIN, is that for every 1,000 of these cases, 384 are reported to police. 57 out of those 384 result in an arrest. And 11 out of those 57 are referred for prosecution. And 7 out of those 11 result in a felony conviction. And 6 out of those 7 actually result in incarceration. So, for every 1,000 reported, only 6 result in incarceration. And now we do know that there are a lot of mothers who don't even believe their own children when the children tell them that this kind of thing has happened to them. And, or the so-called mother there's moms who pimp out their own children. And that's something disgusting that also happens too. But nevertheless, there are, of course, lessons that we can glean from this whole situation without bashing her. And the one that stuck out to me, because I've been, in something similar myself, is when she said in one of her now deleted videos that her sister or a female cousin, I can't remember, told her to try online dating. And when I say I've been through something myself, I don't mean the main situation. I just mean being in a desperate situation, something like that. But the sister or cousin told her to do online dating and to try Match. But ISIS said that something told her to do eHarmony instead. And of course, she could have met a predator on either platform, but it's just the fact that something told her to do eHarmony, and this demon was on in eHarmony, in fact. And I know sometimes we do things based on feeling like we are being led by a benevolent source. But of course, the enemy comes as an angel of light. And he is able to deceive so well. He's able to convince people that they are on the right path, that your beliefs, your behavior, your partner, whatever it is, are A-OK and are a godsend. And oftentimes, it is our own desperation that allows us to give space to the enemy. Yah's word tells us to be hopeful, to be encouraged, to be content, to be patient, to stand firm, and to have faith. Faith is a requirement that also protects us. But I do know that faith is a hard one. But it is worth it to remain hopeful, encouraged, content, patient, firm, and faithful, because desperation is dangerous. And once again, I'm speaking from experience. If faith is righteousness, then I imagine desperation is unrighteousness. The adversary has a counterfeit for everything. Where there's a Coach bag, he's got an Oach bag for you. Where there's a Louis Vuitton bag, he's got a Louis Vuitton bag for you. Ignorance is counterfeit peace. And everything about desperation is counter to Yah and what he has told us to be. Now, a desperado is a criminal. And desperate and desperado have similar meanings, at least in their origins. Our desperation invites the ultimate desperado, the ultimate criminal, Satan. This isn't victim blaming, this is victim prevention. We need wisdom and knowledge so we can rise above the adversary to a place where he and his children cannot touch us. My people perish for a lack of knowledge, is what Yah says. So no matter what season you are in, be hopeful, be encouraged, be content, be patient, be firm, and be faithful.